Well, nobody was talking about tennis at the Linz Open players' party. They were talking about Alex. The 20-year-old Filipino star walked in wearing a wine-red dirndl, looked completely at home among the WTA elite, and then, just to make sure, everyone noticed, won an egg and spoon race. Yes, you read that right. And honestly, that might tell us more about where Alex is headed than any match result ever could. Let's slow down and actually walk through what happened that night, because the details matter more than you'd think. The Linz Open was celebrating its 35th anniversary, and the tournament directors went all in. They partnered with Oheimet to provide every player with a custom-made dirndl, authentic Austrian folk dress, complete with bodice, blouse, and apron. These aren't cheap costumes or novelty outfits. They're genuine pieces of cultural heritage, and the fact that players like Alex, Paula Badosa, and Mira Andreeva fully committed to wearing them tells you something. Nobody was half-hearted about it. They showed up, they embraced it, and they made it mean something. Now, Alex chose wine red. That's worth noting. She could have played it safe. She could have gone neutral, blended in, let someone else own the room. Instead, she picked a bold, striking color and wore it with complete confidence. Compare that to Badosa's sleek black look or Andreeva's soft pale blue, and you've got three players expressing three very different personalities through the same tradition, and all of them pulling it off beautifully. Alex didn't just attend the party, she made a statement. But here's the thing. The outfit is only the surface. What this evening actually represented for Alex runs much, much deeper. She was standing in the same room, laughing and competing, alongside Paula Badosa, a former world number 2, a multiple WTA title winner, someone who has been at the very top of this sport. She was posing for photos with Mira Andreeva, the top seed at this tournament, and one of the most exciting young players on the entire tour. This wasn't a meet and greet with strangers. This was Alex operating comfortably within tennis's inner circle, and that matters enormously for a player still building her place in the game. The tournament director, Sandre Riel, didn't hold back when reporters asked about Alex. He called her unbelievable and spoke about how meaningful it is for the Philippines, for the fans back home, and for the sport itself to have someone of her quality representing that country at this level. That's not promotional fluff from someone who doesn't know the game. Riel has been running a WTA 500 event for years. He's seen hundreds of players come through. When he says Alex is someone who will own the future of the tour, he means it. And those kinds of words from those kinds of people don't get forgotten. Then there's the egg and spoon race. Look, I know how it sounds, but stay with me here. Alex didn't just show up and participate. She competed, she pushed, she won. Even in a ridiculous Easter party game, the instinct kicked in. That's not a small thing. The greatest athletes in history, and we're talking Federer, Djokovic, Serena, were notorious for being absurdly competitive in the most casual settings. Practice, warm-ups, off-court games, they refused to lose. The fact that Alex has that same wiring, that same refusal to be casual about competition, even when the stakes are literally just an egg balanced on a spoon, says something real about her mentality. Champions don't switch it off. They can't. And Alex apparently is no different. Now let's talk about the actual tennis, because that's what all of this is building toward. Alex's first-round match in Linz is against Julia Graber, the local Austrian wildcard who will have the entire crowd behind her and absolutely nothing to lose. On paper, that sounds manageable. In reality, it's one of the trickiest possible openers. Graber knows these courts. She feeds off that home energy. She'll be fired up in a way that tournament veterans simply aren't. Alex needs to be sharp from the very first game, not give Graber a foothold, and close it out without letting the crowd become a factor. It's doable, but it requires focus and execution from the first point. Beyond Graber, though, the draw gets legitimately tough. Top seed Mira Andreeva, 4th seed Jelena Ostapenko, 7th seed An Li. These are serious players who have all proven themselves in high-pressure moments. Ostapenko is a former French Open champion with one of the most explosive games in Women's tennis. Andreeva is arguably the hottest young talent on tour right now. Lee is unpredictable, athletic, and capable of hurting anyone on a given day. For Alex to win this tournament, she would need to go through that kind of competition. That is what winning a WTA 500 actually demands. But here's the thing. Alex has already shown she can compete with players at that level. She's pushed top 10 opponents to the limit. She's won matches that surprised people. The raw ability is not the question. The question is whether she can sustain that level for 5 or 6 rounds across a full week. When the matches get longer, the pressure builds and the margin for error disappears. That's the wall every promising player eventually has to break through. Alex is standing right in front of it. The party appearance matters in ways that go well beyond photos and headlines. When Alex shows up at a prestigious WTA event, looks comfortable, interacts naturally with the top players, and gets publicly praised by the tournament director, that shapes perception. Sponsors are watching, tournament schedulers are watching. The broader tennis media is watching. The more Alex is seen as someone who belongs at this level, not just statistically, but culturally and personally, the more doors open. Better scheduling, direct acceptance into bigger draws, endorsement conversations that simply don't happen for players who haven't cultivated that presence. The visibility Alex is generating right now is building something that will compound across her entire career. There's also the national dimension, and it's impossible to separate it from everything else. The tournament director said it plainly, Alex representing the Philippines at events like this is meaningful for an entire country. The Philippines has not historically produced elite WTA-level players. Alex isn't just ranked 46th in the world. She is, for millions of people back home, proof that it's possible. That kind of weight could crush someone, but it can also fuel someone. The right mindset converts national expectation into energy rather than anxiety, and everything we've seen from Alex so far suggests she carries that responsibility with pride rather than fear. Wearing the dirndl wasn't just a fashion moment either. It was a gesture of cultural respect, a signal to the tournament, to the fans, and to the wider tennis community that Alex is engaged, that she cares, that she's not just passing through, on her way to the next event. Players who embrace local customs, who are easy to work with, who show genuine appreciation for the places they compete, they build goodwill that manifests in very practical ways over time. It's not naive to say that tournaments remember those things, and that being a player people genuinely enjoy having around makes a career easier to sustain. The connections being formed here, with Badosa, with Andreeva, with Alexandrova, and the others who were all in that room together. These are relationships that can last for years. Tennis is one of the loneliest sports in the world. You're traveling constantly, competing alone, grinding through the same exhausting schedule, week after week. Having genuine friendships and mutual respect with other players doesn't just make the tour more enjoyable. It creates practice partners, sounding boards, and a support network that most people on the outside never see. Alex building those bonds. Now, at 20 years old, is smart career management, whether she's thinking about it that way or not. Let's step back for a moment and appreciate how far she's come, because it's genuinely remarkable. Not long ago, Alex was fighting for points on the ITF circuit, trying to earn enough ranking to even get into WTA-level events. Now she's ranked 46th in the world, she's a recognized face in the draw at a WTA 500 tournament, and the tournament director is calling her a future owner of the tour. That isn't luck. That is years of work, sacrifice, and growth becoming visible, all at once. The choice of wine red was also, whether consciously or not, a personality decision. Safe players pick safe colors. Alex picked the one that would stand out, that would demand a second look, that would be memorable in every photo from the night. That same willingness to be bold, to take a risk, and commit to it fully is exactly what separates interesting tennis from predictable tennis. The players who win tournaments aren't the ones who play it safe at 3-3 in the third set. They're the ones who go for it. Alex appears to be wired that way off the court. It will serve her on it. And back to that egg and spoon race for just a moment, because it's also a story that fans will actually remember. Beyond the competitive instinct it reveals, it's the kind of moment that makes an athlete human and relatable. People don't just want to cheer for winners. They want to connect with personalities. They want players who have real moments, funny moments, surprising moments. Alex winning a silly party game with the same intensity she brings to a match tiebreak. is exactly the kind of thing that builds a fan base. Not just people who track her results, but people who genuinely follow her story. That's a different and deeper kind of support, and it's invaluable for a long career. As far as the tournament itself goes, Alex's path is steep but absolutely navigable. Getting past Grabber requires mental sharpness more than physical dominance. It's about neutralizing the crowd, staying composed, and closing the match before it becomes a drama. After that, every round rewards her more. Beating an Ostapenko or an Andreeva at a WTA 500 does more for your ranking and your reputation than a dozen wins over lower-ranked opponents. The draw is difficult, but the upside is enormous. If everything clicks this week, Alex's first tour-level title is not a dream. It's a realistic, reachable outcome. The significance of this being a WTA 500 cannot be overstated. A title here would mean a massive jump in the rankings, direct entry into the biggest events on the calendar, and the kind of credibility that changes how opponents prepare for you. It shifts you from someone with potential to someone with proof. That's the line Alex is trying to cross, and she's standing at the door right now. The 35th anniversary atmosphere in Linz adds something intangible but real. There's a sense of history, of tradition being honored, and Alex has been invited into the middle of that, being celebrated in that context, being singled out by the tournament director, being photographed with top players, being part of the anniversary story, creates a kind of confidence and momentum that isn't manufactured. It's earned, and it's the kind of thing you carry with you onto the court. In sport, feeling valued and welcomed by an event can absolutely translate into performance. The mind and the body are not separate. The presence of Andreeva, Badosa, Alexandrova, and Ostapenko in the same draw that Alex is navigating makes every potential victory more significant. There are no soft roads to a title here, but there are huge opportunities. Every match won against elite competition adds to a story that is getting more compelling by the tournament. The party was also, in a way, a reminder that tennis has a life beyond the matches. Wine tasting, local performances, food, music, shared laughter. The WTA is creating experiences that players actually want to be part of. And Alex being photographed and celebrated in that environment reinforces her identity as someone fully embedded in the tour. Not a visitor, not an outsider who got lucky with rankings, a genuine member of the community. That might sound small, it isn't. At 20 years old, Alex is already managing 3 different things at once: building match results, building a national legacy, and building a global brand. And she appears to be doing all 3 with a level of composure that most players don't develop until their mid-20s. The wine-red dirndl, the egg and spoon trophy, the photographs with Badosa and Andreeva. These aren't distractions from the tennis. They are part of the same story. They are evidence of a player who understands that winning on the court and winning in the world around the court are not separate goals. They feed each other. That's what makes Alex's journey so genuinely exciting to follow. And if this week in Linz goes the way it could, we might look back on this anniversary party, on this red dress and this silly race as the moment before everything changed. The moment right before Alex stopped being the future and became the present.